Hey YouTube, it's AllPrime13 coming at you with another Transformers video review, and today we're going to be looking at another metal cardbot figure. Today we're going to be looking at Steelhook. Apparently his name Black Hook over in Korea, but for the English release they felt the need to change his name. But overall, another interesting figure from this competing line. And as you can see here, he does turn into a pirate ship, a galleon apparently. Um, on this side, we do get a picture of the character from the show, as well as this human, who I have no idea who that is. Here we have him with his card weapon, and these are all renders. They are actually quite a bit different from the actual paint job and whatnot of the figure. And as you can see, he's like holding the gun and articulating his hands. He does not have like articulated hands by any means. So these are all renders. Yeah, and there he is with his card weapon. Asking for something is already admitting defeat. Just take what you want and see if they fight you to get it back. This guy is probably a villain. And here we have our alt mode and robot mode. And again, these are renders, not the actual figure. Oh, and we get our legal jargon on the bottom. But that's about it for the box. And where did I put his instructions? There it is. Our lovely instruction booklet. Yeah, stop dropping it. So there's all that. And moving on to the figure himself, he is obviously a pirate-themed figure. He does have a decent amount of paint. It is not quite as much as the render images, but he does have a decent amount. You can see he's got some hits of gold just all over his body. He's got a pull this up just a little bit. He does have an eye patch, red eye patch going on. That's his actual eye. He does have a captain's hat sculpted into his head. He does have these what look like missile pods on his back. And I think this part can actually, like, yeah, it can sit up. So if you wanted to have him, in fact, these parts rotate too, you could probably get it to, well, no, I forgot it doesn't rotate that far. But you could, like, set it up like this and give him, like, shoulder blasters if you wanted to. Again, some nice paint there. Lots of metallic gold. Some hits of red. There are the eyes for the alt mode. They do always give them eyes. And I just noticed that this one has a scar painted on it. I did not notice that before. That's neat. So yeah, got some little molded in cannons here. And I don't think these are 5mm ports. Nah, that'd be cool though. That would be really cool. But there are some of the details for the bot. Let's readjust this camera a little bit. And he does come with a couple accessories. He does come with this bit, which is actually the bow of the ship. I believe it's called the bow. I know more about trucks than pirate ships. But it does open up into an anchor weapon that you can put in his hand. So there's that. Yeah, back there a little bit. And of course he does come with his card. And you can see he does have some nice artwork there on the front. And if we take this off, we can transform this into a weapon form. We want to fold this together. Actually, I believe we want to fold this part down first, then we fold it together. This part will flip out, and then these bits will extend into sort of a cannon there. And this works. We're actually going to take this away by tapping into right here on his shoulder, right, with this bit here. And it does sort of line up for it to like be a little viewport for his eye. And we can just put his I like to keep it folded together because it looks a little bit more like a scythe than an anchor, so I like to do it that way. Bumblebee went cliff diving. But yeah, he is definitely armed and ready to fight, so that's pretty neat. We will do a couple of comparisons here. So here he is next to the more than meets the eye leader Optimus. So you can see he's fairly tall. Here he is with another ship in Studio Series Shockwave. So you can see he's definitely bigger than a modern Voyager, but he costs less. He was, I believe this one was a $30 figure. So, and I don't really think I have any good pirate figures I could compare this guy with. I know we're getting that like pirate ship Scourge in the new toy line, the new Cyber World toy line, sometime in the future, but that has not come out yet. And honestly, this is probably going to be leagues better anyway because he has articulation. But speaking of articulation, we're going to go ahead and pop these weapons off, and we are going to go ahead and go over his articulation. Now, he does have a very expressive ball joint for his head. Very nice range of motion there. Quite like that. If we put his backpack down where it's supposed to be, it is actually supposed to sit like this, and it does actually have a little clip point right here. But again, if you want to change how it's displayed, you can. We do get a 360 at the arm, as long as you account for the collision. His arm can come out that far due to the collision of this bit. It does have a, I think it's a soft ratchet, or maybe a whoop ratchet. But he does get about 90 degrees at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist, unfortunately. I don't think, yeah, we don't get an actual waist. We do get a nice ratchet in the hip. Can kick that far forward. And counting for collision, it can go pretty far back. We do get a hip swivel. We do get a little under 90 at the knee. Again, another ratchet. Unfortunately, no actual foot articulation. It's just molded in an A stance. Again, these don't have as much articulation as the Hasbro figures, but again, they make up for that in size, sturdiness, and ratchets. So, you know, give and take there. But I think that's really about it for his articulation. Yeah, not super articulated, but still not bad. I think that's about it for the robot mode, though, so I think we can go ahead and move on to transformation. So there are some cool things about this, and there are some things about this that I do not like, but we will get to that. The first thing is we are going to rotate his head 180, and then we are going to unclip this all from his back. Just bring that down, and we do want to bring his legs together. Where to go? We do need to bring this part in. So we are going to lift these panels up a bit, and we do want to fold this around like so. Fold his feet around like so, and move these heel pieces do click forward one. And now we want to make sure I'm doing this right. It's been a little bit. Right, so you can see there are these little nubs, little blue nubs. Those are actually going to go into the screw holes here on the blue part. And it's sort of hard to see, but and I didn't even realize it at first because it's so subtle, but there are slight corners etched into that screw hole because this is a square peg. So it does actually sit in there. And now you're going to bring his legs together, and that will give you the front of your ship. And now we do need to, I believe, put him in a bit of a sitting position, and we are going to fold these panels up and up like so, and you can see that gives him his sails. Make sure to clip those the rest of the way together. And now we're going to move these up. We're going to bring this whole assembly down, and it does have another clipping point here, so like that. And now these are going to swing forward, and I believe, yeah, it's very minimal, but there is like a little etched tab. It's basically like an etched piece more than like an actual tab, but that will go. And you can sort of see it's squared off a little bit here. If I can get the light to actually maybe put it a little darker, you can sort of see there's a little bit of square etch there, and that's going to go behind this painted bit, like so. And we want to do that for both sides, like so. And make sure this part is actually clipped in down here. Alright, then we are going to take his hands and fold them back like so, and fold them back very stiff. And I believe then we want to fold, yeah, we rotate the elbow, and then we're going to fold them up, and the hand is going to go sit in this cavity in the shoulder like so. And do the same for the other side, and then we want to bring this whole assembly back and tab it together. And there we have him in his pirate ship. And yeah, a very unique alt mode that we do not get to see all that often, especially with the Hasbro Transformers. Now again, I do have a couple issues with this. Obviously his hands are sitting out there, and that's a little bit annoying. But what really bugs me is his head is literally just right there. Like, yeah, it's just right there. All you've done is turn it backwards so it's facing away from the front. Like, there's no attempt to hide the head whatsoever. Because on the other one, on Shadow X, you at least sort of like fold it into a cavity and it's like half covered. And I should have brought him back out. He's in the other room. But yeah, this one, the head it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. And that's probably one of my biggest complaints with this figure. And honestly, this was the figure I was looking forward to more than the other. This is the main figure I wanted out of the bunch. And again, I was only able to get two. So he was definitely going to be one of them. And I kind of regretted opening the other one first because he ended up feeling more impressive than this guy. And it's not necessarily this guy's bad. Again, the plastic is nice and solid. It's a unique alt mode and an interesting little transformation. I like how the sails become his like leg panels. You know, you don't see ships as often as I would like. So, but yeah, that's really like my biggest complaint is the head is just hanging out right there. So, but other than that, he's pretty solid. Obviously no rolling, but hey, you can slide him. He actually slides quite nicely. Again, with the cards, they don't store in the vehicle mode, so they're just kind of off to the side. but we will bring in a couple different comparisons here. So here he is next to Legacy Bulkhead, again with a Voyager class. Here he is next to Galaxy Shuttle, a leader class. And because I still have him over here, here he is next to Shattered Glass MP10. So you can see how he stacks with a Masterpiece figure. And again, these guys definitely prioritize their bulk and I would say their bulk and their paint mostly, and then they also do get a fair amount of ratchet joints in there. So again, they're definitely not as intricate, I think is the right word to use here. They don't get as much posability, but again, it's a give and take. And my biggest thing about them is they are cheaper. Because like I said, this guy was like a $30 figure, and right now, here's a Hasbro figure that costs $30. So, yeah, like it's a big difference. So I'm hoping that they are doing decently so far. They have already put up their second wave for pre-order, and I definitely want to get some of those guys and get more of the first wave as well. I am liking these, and I do want these to stick around. So yeah, Hasbro's finally getting some competition. They had 5-2 Toys, the ones who do Beast Box, were already starting to slowly move into the market, and now we're getting these. And it's only a matter of time before hopefully something will start showing up in the regular toy shelves at like your Targets and your Walmarts, and really start putting the pressure on Hasbro to do better. Because as much as I love Hasbro's figures, not Hasbro, but their figures, they have been cutting corners and shrinkflation and all that recently. So some healthy competition is very needed, and we might just have it here. So I think that's about all I have to say on this particular review. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. And this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul